Welcome to Pokopoko News at MRU TV. I'm Shamim Senkungu. Let's have a look at the top stories. Thousands of Palestinian homes have been put down. Stena Emperor seized in the Strait of Hormuz. Let's have the news in details. Hundreds of Israel troops move into Saba village and begin knocking down thousands of Palestinian homes near the separation wall. Hundreds of Israel troops accompanied by bulldozers have begun demolishing homes in the Palestine village of Sabah despite Palestine's protests and international criticism. Residents of the village of Wadi Al-Hamus neighborhood say that 16 residential buildings, which hold around 100 apartments, were being targeted. The Israel military considers the homes, which are close to the Israel separation wall that crisscrosses the occupied West Bank, which is a security risk. This followed the ruling of the Israel Supreme Court ruling in favor of the military a month ago, making the deadline Monday 22nd July this year. The Israel Act started at around 7:15 in the morning with very loud bangs coming from those of the Palestine homes. Families have been standing in the streets watching the homes being torn apart. Israel soldiers have also placed explosives to demolish a building in Sabah in eastern Jerusalem. The now sprawling village of Sabah straddles the line between occupied West Bank. It was captured and occupied by Israel in 1967 war. This demolishment has left many weeping in a sad state of the Palestine residents. The seizing of Stena Emperor by Iranian Revolutionary Guard in the Strait of Hormuz has been exposed by a radio recording. Stena Emperor, a second tanker, the British-owned MV Mesda, has been seized following an international violation of the international law by unlawfully attempting to board MV Stena after a warning from a Royal Navy to Iranian armed forces. A radio recording has been released exposing communications exchanges that happened between a British warship and Iranian armed forces vessel. This also reveals the moments before a British-flagged oil tanker was seized in the Gulf. Iran's state-run IRNA news agency said the tanker was captured after it collided with a fishing boat and failed to respond to calls from the smaller craft. Iran says its vessel was illegally seized in Omani waters and forced to sail into Bandar Abbas port in Iran. Despite its legal detainment, Iran said it was piracy and threatened to seize a British oil tanker in retaliation. Chancellor Philip Hammond says that UK would pursue every possible diplomatic route to resolve the situation. Mr. Hunt also says that Iran viewed it as a tit-for-tat situation, but nothing could be further for the truth.
Respond in a way that is considered but robust, and we are absolutely clear that if this situation is not resolved quickly, there will be serious consequences.
Hong Kong remains in a state of shock following the violence of the masked men that stormed a train station. In Hong Kong, dozens of men were seen dressed in white shirts and suspected to be triad gangsters. These assaulted pro-democracy protesters and passers-by in Yen Long area. This happened following the travel back of pro-democracy protesters from a lorry in the center of Hong Kong, where riot police had to fire tear gas and rubber bullets at protesters. This has come with 6 weeks of mass protests over an extradition deal with mainland China, which the Hong Kong government has since suspended. In a rare act, protesters defaced the liaison office, China's central government building, on Sunday. One of the graphic slogans that were written on the walls read, "You told us peaceful marches are useless." That has been the news at MRU TV. I remain Shamim Senkungu. Please follow us on our YouTube channel, that is MRU TV, our Facebook page, that is MRU TV. Keep watching.